Hello Stampers, this is Sandra with Crafty Creations with Sandra. I got a brand new glue. So you can laugh at what excites me. A brand new sheet of dimensionals and a brand new glue. Hi, who's with me? Say hello. Today we're doing a 6x6 one sheet wonder. And we're making these 3 different layouts with one little piece of 6x6. Hi Rosa. I love these cards. And you can do them with any stamp set, any paper. I'm excited to show you how easy it is. This is the template, and I didn't do a very good job of making a template because this is just my notes. Actually, is it week 61 or 62? I'm now confused. Anyway, we start with the 6x6. We're gonna cut 1 inch off. Then we're gonna turn it, cut 2.5 off, and then we're gonna cut half an inch, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. And those are all the pieces that we need. You could take a screenshot if you need the pattern. Okay? So we end up with 3 beautiful cards. I did the inside, and I'm going to show you this little new technique. And I just think they're awesome. This stamp set, by the way, is on sale today because it is a cling stamp set. It's the red rubber ones. It's a cling stamp set, so it's 15% off. That's what we're using. All right, see if anybody else joined us. It's okay if nobody else joined us. They can watch later. We're going to start with a piece of 6x6, and because the paper is so thin, you can cut 2 or 3 at the same time. So I'm going to cut 2, and then I'm just going to show you what the cards would look like. Okay? And then you needed 3 card bases, so I have my paper. So I'm using this paper and these card bases. And then you needed a contrasting color for matting. So I'm using black. And then I think I didn't tell you, but you needed white for the insides and the top layer on the front. But I'll explain that as we go. So while we wait to see if somebody else joins us, I'm going to cut my card bases, okay? I'm going to score and cut my card bases. So I'm going to score at 4 1/4. Just score, and I score both of them at the same time. So when I cut at 5 1/2, both of my cards are already scored. You see that? I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to score at 4 1/4. A whole sheet. Hi, Mary. I'm just making my card bases. Then I'm going to cut at 5 1/2. And that gives me 2 scored card bases. I only need 3, so I'm going to have 1 extra. And then I wanted to show you, I want to show you a new way that I found to make the insides of the cards. Look at this. Do you see how it's a lot smaller than what we usually use? Because we cut our paper into 4 pieces, 4 by 5 1/4, right? So 4 by 5 1/4 leaves a 1/2 inch on this side and a 1/2 inch on this side. And I'm going to show you how to get 5 mats out of this sheet. It's really easy. You're going to take your paper in portrait mode and you're going to cut it at 5 inches. Okay? I'm making these panels right here. They're smaller, look. But I'm going to get 5 from one sheet instead of the 4 that we usually get. Okay? I'm going to cut my paper at 5 inches. Now I'm going to take this bigger piece and I'm going to cut it at 3 1/2 But because I would waste a 1/2 inch, I'm gonna cut it at 3, hold on, 3.5 plus 2 lines, 3 5/8. Okay, 3 5/8. It's 3.5 plus 2 lines, 3 5/8, and 3 5/8. And I only wasted this piece right here. Then I'm gonna take this piece that's 3.5, and I'm gonna cut it by 5 twice. 5 and 5. And I only have this left over, and now I have 5 mats instead of just 4 for the inside of my cards. And they don't have to go all the way. They don't have to go all the way to the edge. They look just fine if they're a little smaller. Actually, I kind of like the big border. And that way you get 5. Did you like that? So now we have our mats for the inside of our cards. And I'm just gonna place those. I cut a bunch of others. Where did I place those? Ya los perdí. Okay, well, I'm gonna put those there. And now we're gonna cut. So we have our card bases. You just need 3. And you needed a piece of designer paper, matching or coordinating card bases, and a piece for matting, a contrasting piece for matting. So I'm gonna use the black, okay? But first we're gonna cut our 6 by 6. And I'm gonna cut 2, just so I can show you a little bit of variety. We're gonna start with our paper, and I'm gonna have this be up and down, okay? This way. And I'm gonna cut both of them at the same time. I'm gonna cut 1 inch from the bottom. 1 inch from the bottom. Got it? Yeah, you don't waste paper and then you get 5 instead of 4, so you make it last longer. I'm gonna cut 1 inch from the bottom. Okay? So now I have this strip. That's 6 by 1. Now I'm gonna cut this strip in half at 3 inches. Remember, this is 6 by 6, so now this is 1 by 6. I'm gonna cut it in half. So now I have 2 pieces. I technically have 4 because I'm cutting two papers, but these papers go together, okay? Ignore the back ones. I'm just gonna show you a different option. So I have those 2 pieces right there. Then I'm gonna take my piece, I'm gonna turn it sideways, this way, okay? And let me show you the pattern one more time. I have to cut 2 1/2, 1, 1, 1/4, 1/4, 1/2, 1/2. If I cut it this way, that way, it's gonna be really hard to cut these pieces. So I'm gonna cut it this way so that I can cut the half and the half and the quarter and the quarter and the 1 and the 1. And I still have something to hang on to. And then I'll just have a 2 1/2 inch piece. All right? Do you understand why I'm cutting from right to left? We could cut this way, but these would be hard to cut because you would have a little piece of paper to maneuver. So I'm cutting from left to right, all right? I'm gonna cut 2 halves, 2 quarters, and 2 1s. So, keeping my paper together, you can actually cut up to 3. I'm gonna cut 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna use the ruler on the right-hand side. I'm gonna cut 1/2 inch. Somebody joined us. Who joined us? 1/2 inch. Twice, okay? So I'm gonna cut 1/2 inch and another 1/2 inch. You see, if I use the ruler on the right side, it makes it easier to hang on to the paper on this side. Another 1/2 inch. And then I'm gonna cut a 1/4 inch. And this is where having this piece makes it so much easier, because look at the skinny little piece. Then I'm gonna cut another 1/4 inch. It's 2 halves, 2 quarters. Another 1/4 inch. Oops. I don't know, everything's in the way here. My hands are like reaching out where they shouldn't be. All right, now I'm gonna cut 2 pieces of 1 inch. So I'm gonna go to 1 inch. And I'm gonna cut 1 inch, and 1 more inch. And the piece that I have left is 2.5. 2.5, exactly what this said right here. I just cut them in this order, all right? So, I now have, let me move my trimmer for a little bit. I'm gonna need it again. I now have, let me move my card bases too. I don't need them now. I now have my 2.5 inch piece, my 1 inch piece, my other 1 inch piece, my 1/4 inch piece. Remember, there's 2 of those, and my 1/2 inch pieces. Those are all the pieces that I cut from the 6 inches. And then I have my 2 bottom pieces that were 1 inch by 3 inches. Got it? Okay. Now, I'm going to move my second pattern out of the way. This pattern out of the way. This piece and these 2 short pieces go with card number 1, okay? So that's gonna be 1 card base. I'm gonna put them inside here. That's card number 1. Then these 2 pieces go with card number 2. The 1 inch pieces go with card number, actually it doesn't matter what order we make, but these go with card number 2. And then all the rest of the pieces, these 4 pieces, go with the 3rd card. Okay? So I have I took all my paper. And then I'll show you how to use this other pattern in a little bit. I'll show you how to create just a different pattern. Pattern of DSP, not pattern of, not layout, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna go in order. We're gonna make this card first. Remember, I have, hold on, I'm trying to get organized here. I have my card base and I'm going to fold and burnish. Remember, in the last couple of weeks, I couldn't find my bone folder. I don't know if you noticed, I kept saying I lost my bone folder, so I was using that Oriental Trading one. The other day I went into Isaiah's room and my bone folder was on his dresser. And I said, Isaiah, what is this doing here? Oh, I needed it, Nana. It's all broken. I don't know what he did with it. Look, the tip is broken and the end is broken. And then when I asked him, why did you break it? He got very upset and said, why was I accusing him of breaking it? But I found it. Okay, so here's my card base. This piece is gonna go here. And then these 2 pieces are gonna go here, but you're gonna use the opposite side so it looks like you have a big piece spread across. Isn't that ingenious? Isn't that pretty neat? All right, so if we want to mat this piece, like I used Pear Pizzazz. For this one, I'm gonna use black. This is 2.5 by 5, so I'm gonna make my mat 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. All right, so now we're gonna cut this 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. I'm just giving it a 1/4 inch. So now when I mat it here, and when I put it on, it just pops a little more. You see how easy that card is? Isn't that neat? Okay, so we can glue. We can glue our pieces together. I'm gonna put this on the black. Just center it. And then, if I use my grid, I can sort of keep track of where, let's see, I want to put it there. Look, I'm laying a little bit down from this line and a little bit above this line. So this is centered right here. So I'm using these 3 pieces to line up this. This is a 3-inch piece. I'm just using it to line it up right there. Okay? And then I'm going to use the same lines on the other side to line this one up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on each of my ends so I can figure out where I want it. And if I feel I need to push it in or pull it out. So I want this border to be the same as this one. So I kind of think that looks good right there. Looks even to me. And now I can pick up the whole thing and I can glue it. I can just center it on my card. And there's my first layout. Isn't that easy? So I already pre-cut some of the flowers from the Artistically inked stamp set. I pre-cut the big one, the medium one, the small one, and some leaves. And I pre-stamped the happy birthday, just so we could go faster. So the way that I'm gonna do it is I'm going to add a few dimensionals. I'm gonna copy the other ones. That makes it go faster. I'm gonna put this one here. Then I'm gonna put this one around here. Then I'm gonna add some leaves, and I've already pre-cut those 2. There's die cuts that I used. And I'm just going to stick that right here. And then I think I can put some down here. They can go wherever I want. Let me find my birthdays. Here's the happy birthday that I pre-stamped. And if I want to put it there, I'm going to, I'm not that prepared. I didn't flag the ends. So I'm going to use my, I don't know what it's called, pick a banner punch, something, pick a tag, I don't remember what it's called. But I'm going to center it right there. Oops, that's the wrong one. I want the little flag. Oops, that's kind of close, but that's okay. I'm just centering it there. Well, it's close on both sides, so it's okay. Are you liking it? Wasn't it easy? Now, very simply, I could just add this here with no embellishment. I don't need anything. I just need to attach it. But if I want a little bit of embellishment, I can put a little piece of ribbon across. This is just our gold shimmer ribbon. And I'm going to add a little bit of tear and tape on the bottom part of the sentiment. Like that. On my first sample, I had a piece of gold foil paper, but I couldn't find it. I have to tell you, I organized my scrapping area, and I don't know where anything is. This is a little long, so I'm going to trim it a little bit. So now I can use dimensionals to just attach it right here across. Or I could put it on top. I kind of like it lower, right here. What do you think? I like it there. I'll stick in these leaves first. I want them to show a little bit here on the pink. It's Magenta Madness. Then I'm going to put the happy birthday right across here. I don't need a dimensional here, I just need a couple dimensionals here. And to make it easier, I'm actually going to put the dimensionals on the card. That way I don't get it wrong. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here. So my happy birthday will be right in this exact spot I want it. There's my card. It's a little crooked. Hold on. I want it to be crooked. There you go. And then I use this little one. Are you liking it? Did you see how easy it was to turn those 3 little pieces of DSP into the card? There. And then we can add a little bit of Wink of Stella to make it sparkly. And there is our card, our first card. Now for the inside, all I did is I take one of these and I can stamp it. I can stamp it however. I think I'm going to do this along the side right here, just like that. Simple. You could add another sentiment if you wanted to, but look, this smaller piece is gonna look really nice with the big Magenta Madness border. Look at that. Just make these two sides even and then these two sides even. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so there's card number 1. And look, here's card number 1. We could add a couple of rhinestones or a little bit of bling, but we already have gold here and we already have gold here. And then on the third card, I don't know if it's the second or the third card, I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm going to show you a new product. Okay, so there's card number 1. Now let's do card number 2, which is the one that has the 2 pieces. These 2 pieces. And for this one, we need a mat. We need the black mat and then we need a white piece. So the black mat is gonna be 5 1/4 by 4. And then the white piece is gonna be 1/4 inch smaller. So, let me bring my black paper. 5 1/4 by 4. I'm gonna do 4 and 5 1/4. And then for my white piece, I'm gonna do 3 3/4 by 5. Because it was 4, so I'm removing 1/4, and it was 5 1/4, so I'm I'm doing 5 by 3 3/4. Okay? So there's my inside piece. I mean my top piece. This piece is gonna go here, and this piece is gonna go here. Got it? Let me burnish my card with my broken bone folder. Now this piece goes right here, and then these two pieces are gonna go here. And we wanna wedge the edges. So what you wanna do is you wanna take them both together, and you wanna take your paper trimmer, and you're just gonna make an angle cut. It doesn't matter what angle, just make an angle. All right? I just angle cut it. Now you're gonna turn it, and you're going to make this angle match one of these lines. So as far as you want to get close to this edge. So you see how I'm lining up my angle right here? Then I'm gonna cut the other side. That way I get an even angle on both sides. And so those are scraps. And now I have my two pieces that are gonna go right here. And that's my second layout. You like it? You're so quiet, I don't see you. I don't see you answering. Sorry, but I see you shaking. But here's what I did. I took the magenta, well, I took the pale papaya on this one, and I stamped these little dots. Those little dots come in the stamp set. So we're just gonna fill or randomly stamp some dots. And we're not gonna press very hard so that we don't get the edge of the stamp. I think that's enough. See, the more I do, the more I want to do, huh? Okay, I think I'm gonna stop. Oh, I better do the center because you do see the center. So let's just do the whole thing. I'm just filling in with spots. Those little tiny dots. Okay? They're part of the stamp set right here. And that's just so that I don't have so much white. All right, now I'm going to glue this white piece on. Mary, I think you have this. You do have this stamp set, don't you? It's on sale. If you don't, then I'm going to glue this piece onto the card. Then I'm going to take my two. I kind of think these go together like this. But for more variety, so I can have green in different places. They're going to go right here. So you're just going to decide how far apart you want them, and then just go there. You don't think, Mary? I thought you had ordered it when we had the class. Maybe I just don't remember correctly. Because remember we had this class with this paper? Anyway, it's 15% off just today. I'm just leaving a little bit of a gap. And then I'm trying to match these up in a straight line. There's my decoration. Very simple. Just line those up. Match your space right here. And then once again, I have my flower on my other flower, and I'm going to tuck that one in here. And look, I have a lot of white space, so I'm going to tuck that inside there. One more time, I'm going to do 3 on the big one. I could have used, I guess, a lighter pink, but sometimes that gets lost, so I just use the same pink. So I'm going to do it kind of in the center so that we could see those strips. And then this one gets 1, and I'm going to tuck about half of it in under the other flower. Well, to hide this part, but also to make sure we can see these strips. Then I'm going to tuck one of these over here. And then I'm going to take a second one, put dimensionals on it. And I'm going to put that over here. I'm going to take the little one again, make it a center. And then here I added a bow. Oh, and I forgot, I stamped on here. Although I had stamped a sentiment that we could add. Let's do it a little different. Let's flag these ends the regular way. Just so you could see that anything works. And I can put that there with dimensionals. And then let me make a bow to see if I can fit it in. See if we can fit it in. This ribbon is really easy to work with. And I already told you, if you flip this to the back, both of your tails will be pointing in the same direction. Did you see what I did? I make a loop, and then I flip this backwards and bring it in from behind and tuck it in here. Then both of my tails will be facing in the same direction. You see? And I'm just going to trim. Maybe make it a little smaller. I'm trying to make it small so it'll fit. So otherwise, it'll cover the sentiment. Oh, right there it doesn't cover. You could just leave it without it, but it does need a little bit of gold, I think. So we'll add it. You don't, oh. So I'm just adding a glue dot, and I'm gonna place it right there. And then I'm going to use dimensionals on this sentiment. And I'm gonna put 4 because I don't want it to droop in the center. Oops. No, I do like it right here. I like it right there. There's our second card, and our inside we can do, really we can do whatever we want. I'm going to do large flower. Not big, huh? And then using some old olive, I'm going to do, I need a scratch paper. I'm thinking I'm going to put a second one right there. And then with the little tiny one, actually I could glue that on there. No, I'll just snap it. This is an awesome set. Look, I didn't think that circle was big enough, so I stamped it several times and it filled in the space. I like that, how it looks. And I just got ink all over my fingers. So let me grab a wipe. And this ink is a very loud color. It'll be everywhere. Okay, so now we're gonna put this on the inside of our card. And we will be done with card number 2. I still haven't shown you the special technique. Isn't that pretty? There's card number 2. Oh, we need Wink of Stella. I forgot to wink this one. I think my Wink of Stella is drying out. Or running out. I guess it doesn't dry out. It just runs out. Here's my sparkly sparkly. Get it everywhere. That looks really pretty. Let me do this one. I don't know why I forgot to do this one. If you don't have a Wink of Stella, get yourself one. It makes everything sparkly. I am squeezing. All right. So there's card number 2. Very cute, don't you think? I really like that bow. Just a little something different. Okay, and so for card number 3, we are going to, hold on a second, I have a big mess. Let me try to clear off some of this mess. I have leftover flowers. Okay, so for our 3rd card, we're going to fold and burnish. And this time, we need a mat that is 3 3/4 by 5. 3 3/4 by 5. Okay? I'm going to grab my black piece. And this was all done with one sheet of paper. 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to do 5 first. And then I'm going to do 3 3/4. Which means that my white piece is going to be 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. I just took one of my mats that I cut. A lot of savings that produced, huh? There's my mat. Okay, so that's gonna go here. But we're gonna take our 4 little strips that we have left over from our 6-inch piece. We're gonna work with just with this one. Let me get a drink of water. That pink is Magenta Madness, Mary. I like it better than polished pink. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to do 1 strip, turn it over, another strip, 1 strip, turn it over. Okay, and so then what we want to do is we want to do all the way to the edge over here, all the way to the edge, so that we can take these leftovers and fill in this space right here, okay? So let's start with 1. And I could have done all 1/4 inch strips instead of 1/2 inch strips. It can really be any size strips. So I'm going to do that. And then you can actually put the glue on the card. Oh, don't put so much. I'm going to flip it over so I get different color combination there. Then I'm going to do 1 more strip of glue. Isn't it interesting how 1 little piece of paper can do all these things? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to cut these off. Then I'm going to recycle. I'm going to do this one here. I think I'm going to run out. But I have a solution. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put glue on this whole thing. And I'm going to do this one. I'm going to use the gold, the piece that shows the gold. Then I'm going to take the skinny one. It doesn't really matter. I could take the thicker one and just fill in that space, the last space. You see, I filled into the corners, all the way to the corner, using all the little bits. Now I'm going to trim all the excess from both sides. And be gentle so you don't tear off your pieces. So all of this is trash. And now I can mat this piece on the black and this piece on the card. Isn't that awesome? And I have a totally decorated card with just those 4 little strips, 2 1/2 inch strips and 2 1/4 inch strips. Now if you weren't doing a 1-sheet wonder, you could just do this with strips. Leftover strips, you know how sometimes you have a bunch of 1/2 inch strips left in a pack of paper? Okay, I'm going to put this here. And then I have my flowers, the same flowers, and I'm doing the same layout. Mostly so I don't have to think, but because it works also. So I'm gonna put this here because I want this to show. And I'm gonna put this one kind of over this one. Then my leaves. And on one set of leaves I put dimensionals, and then I glue the other set of leaves, just so we can have two different layers. Oops. And I kind of like this one here, so you could see a lot of green up here. And then my second set of leaves, I just put glue, and I'm gonna tuck them. I can tuck them anywhere. I'm gonna tuck them right there. One more center. Put this right here in the center. Isn't that pretty? The black really makes the colors pop, don't you think? Okay, then I have my happy birthday over here. And I'm going to trim it. And what I actually did is I trimmed it closer to the stamped words. So I would have a smaller border. You can use your trimmer. Putting it real close. Trying to do it straight. And then I also used a piece of ribbon. You know, this time maybe we could do, I'm not sure if we can. No, that's too much. I need to do just a strip. Just a little strip across, and the happy birthday on top, just like that. Doesn't that look pretty? I think it looks really pretty. Put some tear and tape on the bottom. Actually, it's so narrow, so it's mostly the whole thing. Put it on my ribbon. Try to leave about the same amount of space on the sides. And on the bottom. There we go. Then just use dimensionals. See if I have enough. I don't, but I can make more. So here we go. This edge got a little ragged, so I'm just going to trim it. All right, so there's card number 3. Now I'm going to show you something. Well, I have 2 other things to show you, but I'll show you this one first. So you see these little dots? We don't have any gold embellishments that are that big. So I took some glue dots. Are you there? Are you there? And I took my piercing tool. I took a glue dot. Just pick it up. Try not to pull it into a different shape. Try to keep it in a circle. But if it's in a different shape, it won't matter. I just pulled that into a different shape. I really wanted circles. I'm just putting a glue dot there right next to that one. And then I'm going to put one I think maybe right here. Trying to get myself out from under there. There. Okay. Now I have these gold flakes that we've never used, gold leafing, that we've never really used. And then you're going to open them up, and they really are gold flakes. They're flakes of little gold foil. So you're going to take the flakes and you're just going to put them on top of the glue dot. And they will fly all over the place. You have to be real careful. Look, they're just little gold flakes. And they tear very easily. So you want to fill. And you don't want to fan and you don't want to sneeze because they'll be everywhere. I mean literally everywhere. Just got a piece on the rim right there. Okay, so I'm closing that. And then I have this little Tupperware where I catch all the bits from when I use it. So I'm gonna take, well, I'm gonna press, make sure that I have covered, that it's not sticky. This feels a little bit sticky, so I'm gonna take some of this, put it over here. Are you following me? So there, I'm going to take a brush and I'm gonna brush off the excess. And look, what's happening is I had some leftover glue right there and it attached to the glue. But we'll take it off right now. I'm still learning. I'm just brushing off the excess, okay? I'm just catching it and then I'll reuse it over here. And here, I had some glue, so let me use my glue eraser, see if I can pick that up. I should be able to. This adhesive eraser is awesome. Okay, so now I sort of took off all the excess. Now I'm gonna take my sponge and I'm gonna sponge and I'm kind of polishing. Now remember that one? I got it pulled out of shape, so it's no longer a circle. But there, I made gold embellishments with my little glue dots. I gotta clean this one up. But isn't that neat? So now you have to cover this. And then let me use my glue eraser to get rid of some of this gold. That's where it doesn't belong. No, I must have had glues. And then this one, I think this one needs a little bit more gold right here because it's a little sticky. So you just have to be patient. And you just have to do it again. So I don't want any sticky spots. I kind of think there's a spot right there. Okay, so there, I made embellishments. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Okay, so I won't finish the inside of this one, but I just did that. So I'll do that in a little while. So did you like that new way of making embellishments? Let me show you something else. Let me see if I can show you. So for the other pattern that I cut, I'll try and figure out how to show you. I'm just going to show you the basic layout, just so you could see that the paper will do exactly the same thing. I have my 3-card bases and I'm using soft succulent. just gonna burnish those really quick. Okay, there's my 3 card bases. We're gonna do them all at once. On one of them, I have this mat. They're the same mats that we had cut together. The other one is this one. And the other one is this one. Then we're gonna take our pieces that we pre-cut. Remember we cut two pieces of DSP? Look, this is gonna go here. And then these 2 pieces are gonna go right here. I'm doing exactly the same thing that I did before, but I want you to see that the paper just makes it look awesome no matter what paper you use. And this one, we cut at an angle. Cut at an angle, line it up. Cut at the same angle. So that one is the bigger one. And look at this. This paper has direction. Are you still with me? This paper has direction, so I have to use it like this. Otherwise, it's going to be, ooh, and I need to cut it a little bit shorter, I think. But it would be like this, look. I think we need to trim it a little bit more. It's too long. I'm just gonna use my scissors. There we go. And then the third piece would be just like this. You get it. Then if we had done embellishments, we could have just cut some of the flowers. I didn't need to stamp anything. I could have just done, I didn't get a chance to cut several. But embellish and sentiment. You see? Exactly the same layout. Just different paper. Oh, hi Julia, you like the gold leafing? One of these days I'll give you a lesson on how to use it in several ways. Today we just use it with glue dots. So anyway, here's our 6x6. I'll finish those later and I'll post the pictures. But here's our 6x6 one sheet wonder. The pink one we just made. And the petal papaya that I had already made. Did you like them? So give it a try and post your pictures. I haven't seen you guys posting pictures very much. I want you to try everything I teach you, so you can use up your stash. Let me know which is your favorite. The pink or the pale papaya? The magenta madness. You love the pink one, Mary? Yeah, that one's really pretty. You have that paper, don't you? You can use any flowers. It doesn't have to be those flowers. Yeah, I think the black really makes it pop. Although this color is very soft and pretty. Okay, ladies, thank you for joining me. I'm glad you were here today, and I hope that you make your cards. Remember, if you don't comment, you can't win. So make a comment. Hi, Mosa. Did you just get here? Or you've been there? If you make a comment, you're entered into the raffle. So you always want to comment. Thank you. Good night, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. If I missed any questions, I'll answer them in a bit. Oh, Mosa, you can watch the recording. It's recorded, so you could go back and watch. Okay? Bye.